Do you guys think that right now is the best time period for like all-time Philly sports vibes?
The vibes are high
No.
right now. Really? What?
No, it
Welcome
probably
back to
is.
First Take, everyone. Parker, no. We talked about it a little bit last episode. We mentioned something about when we were drafting the greatest Philly sports moments of all time. We were like, we have it pretty good right now, and that got me thinking. I was like, right now, are we currently in like the best era of Philly sports?
I mean, yes and no. I feel like it's a lot harder to. Well, we're contenders every year, but we also lose every year.
yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
at least if we were bad, we knew we didn't have a chance of winning.
Mm-hmm.
But we're good, so we have a chance of winning, and then we still lose anyway. So, like, if we go through this era and don't win a single championship in any sports,
Mm-hmm.
then it's no different if we were bad and didn't win anything. Except if we
Well-
were bad and didn't win anything, then there was no hopes to begin with. And
Yeah.
no hope is the best hope.
No, I would disagree. I would rather have like a good team that has a chance to win all year than a team that you know has no shot. That's not a fun season.
Well,
I would prefer having a
And
good
about
team.
it this way.
right now every team is really good.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I would prefer that.
Every team has a chance to win the chip. Like
Mhm.
we're top 3,
Except the Flyers.
Think about it this
They're
way.
the Flyers.
They're getting there.
But we're top 3 in in the top 3 sports. Like
Mm-hmm.
the Sixers, their odds are they might be top five.
Top five. Yeah.
Eagles like top 3 to top 5.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody's just right there. Phillies are what, top 3,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
like everybody's right there. There has been a championship since the Eagles Super Bowl win.
Would you rather, for your birthday, you be given a box that's wrapped, a wrapped box, like a birthday present, but the box is empty, or just nothing at all?
A wrapped box.
A wrapped box. At least you have a box.
At least you get the
then
anticipation.
you can put stuff in the box, and yeah, there's.
I'd rather be given nothing at all.
I would rather enjoy a season
and
than
the
just go
box-
through a slog of a season like, well, noth's happening here.
And the box could be really exciting. Like it could be the anticipation of watching the box perform.
That's like a Jack in the Box.
Well, it might have writing on the box, and like
Mm.
it might be a special box. There might be really a lot of feelings connected to the box.
I'll rebut your analogy with a popular saying. I don't know if it's a
Schrodinger's
quote, but a
box?
saying. What's that? I forget.
No, that's a cat.
Is that a science thing?
No. No, it's Pandora's box. That's what.
Oh,
not
what's Schrodinger do?
Schrodinger's cat.
No, there's something.
No. I guarantee you it's Schrodinger's
is
cat.
well, Schrodinger's cat's a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
saying.
That's not what I was referring to.
Okay.
A different Schrodinger or the same guy, just a
Well,
different thing?
Schrodinger did wavelengths too.
Oh, so he was into wavelengths.
What is it? Pandora's
Cats.
box?
Yeah, Pandora's box. That's
I know Pandora's box is.
yeah.
Big.
Yeah, opening Pandora's box. That's a thing. Okay, so
Yeah,
Parker's
Schrodinger's
nutrition-
cat is a famous thought experiment that demonstrates the idea in quantum physics that tiny particles can be in 2 states at once while they're observed. Yep. So there's a multiverse. I think this is
That's the theory. Okay. I'll rebut your box analogy with saying it's about the journey, not the destination. So I would rather enjoy the journey of an exciting season, like the Eagles Super Bowl loss or the Phillies World Series loss. Like that season was still great and filled with awesome moments, and it hurt at the end. But I would rather that than be 4-13 and have no hope all season.
Or be the Sixers when they're intentionally tanking, and
Yeah.
it's like, well, I'm not even going to watch the game tonight because we're going to lose by 30,
yeah.
and we're not even going to try. And
Mhm.
then we're going to draft Jahlil Okafor, and we're going to immediately know that he's bad. And
Yeah.
like, I would much rather at least be winning as opposed to losing. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, being winning and competitive is much more fun than
Yeah.
losing and being non-competitive.
Now, I wouldn't want to be stuck in like the Steelers purgatory right now of just like just above 500, but everybody knows you're going to go nowhere in the playoffs. But then you also don't get a hype like that.
But they've had
That's
their
not
fun,
as good,
though.
but
They've
yes.
Had, if this
Oh,
is the
yeah.
worst it is for Steelers fans,
Yeah.
like
Oh, he hit a breakthrough.
Okay, like
Yeah.
you're so lucky because you have 5 Super Bowls. Like
I was thinking of Schrodinger's cat because the Schrodinger's cat is a thought experiment that involves placing.
I just
Parker
said this.
just told us this while you were looking it up.
Did you say like radioactive substance and?
No,
poison?
I didn't expand the text.
So
Oh, okay.
where does the box come into
Because
play?
it involves placing a cat in a sealed box with a radioactive substance and something that can kill the cat, such as a flask of poison.
Whoa,
And
whoa,
this
whoa,
is where I was
whoa.
This is where I was going.
He was killing cats?
The cat is presumably alive and dead because you don't know.
That's dumb.
Like
But it's dead. Though.
until the box is open and observed, the cat is presumably alive and dead.
But we know it's
Not
dead.
necessarily. You don't
If
know
you
until the
close
box
your
is open.
eyes and shoot a cat, but you haven't seen it yet.
Well, maybe the cat.
Presumably it survived.
No, maybe the
Or
cat.
it died. You don't know. It's presumably alive and dead.
Okay, so technically, if the Eagles,
I've done this before.
if the Eagles
no,
lose the
I know
Super Bowl, but you didn't watch it,
Yeah.
they could have won.
Or they could have lost. You don't know.
Okay,
It's only
that's fair.
presumed. It's only presumed.
That's
Through
fair.
word of mouth. What if everybody
Okay.
in the world is trying to trick you?
Hey,
Yeah.
Phillies are winning 1-0.
That's hey.
Because you weren't there.
I think
so.
sometimes-
Wait a second. What if
I'm right.
What if the Super Bowl was at? What if the Eagles did actually win? Because it was on TV. We never actually
Multiverse
were
theory.
there. Everybody in the stadium is tricking us.
Yeah. Have you ever actually legitimately thought that everyone's tricking you? Because this might be kind
Like
of
with
weird.
Helen Keller.
I thought he was going to the guy in the TV show that was in a box. Or
Oh.
Do you guys believe in Helen Keller?
Wait, yeah. What is?
I had this debate with my brothers earlier today.
I don't know, man.
she seems.
I'm not sure.
She seems. I mean, I think.
What's the name? The Truman Show. That's
Yeah, the Truman
yeah,
Show is what I was
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I think I don't understand the connection because apparently she was related. Was Braille her cousin or her how? Because I didn't understand that at all. Like,
Braille is a way for blind people to read.
yeah, but I knew they were related. I just didn't know how.
I don't know where you're going with this
going.
joke.
I'm not trying. I'm just saying that's what they told us, and I didn't quite get it. So my answer to you is, I don't know because
I have no clue.
I don't know the connection.
You're the closest to a doctor out of the three of us, so
What does that make me?
more knowledgeable than us.
I'm not a historian.
I would trust your opinion more than ours.
I have no idea what I
It
believe.
seems highly unlikely that someone could function the way she did without being able to hear or see.
But maybe she could when she
But-
was younger, though.
No,
she
she
could.
was blind and deaf at 19 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she
So
had
there's a
19
little bit of
months.
development, but you don't
She had-
really.
But no 1-year-old is developing enough to be
Almost
able
two.
to function.
Almost 2
Um,
though. She's probably
But 2-year-old
crawling,
is developing enough to function
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
but
So
it's there.
I don't.
The programming though.
I don't know.
The programming.
How did we get to the? If you feel like everyone's tricking you, I've legitimately thought that in my mind
Like,
occasionally.
in a
Like,
simulation.
Give
No,
me a
just-
scenario.
I
Like
don't know
Elon
if I can
Musk.
give you a specific one, but just randomly sometimes I'll be like, what if everybody knows something and I've just never been led on to it, and it's a very self-centered thing when you think about it.
I
but,
believe-
and everyone before they meet me is secretly informed hey, he doesn't know about this, but we don't everyone's in on it. I don't know what that means psychologically.
Like Elon Musk basically convincing us we live in
Whoa.
a simulation. Like Elon
Kind of.
Musk is the overlord of the simulation.
Like the true power of the show Jesse. You guys
You've,
don't know about that?
you've left us speechless twice in the intro segment.
Phillies are winning 2-0.
So, also, we're gonna have a segment this episode, Luke checking the Phillies score.
Every
they've-
time I get a buzz.
Yeah,
Well, I guess you guys didn't know about that.
I don't.
I still don't.
I don't think we want to know.
Do we-
I think this is one of the best eras of Philly sports. To get back to that, we've got some we have Bryce Harper, Joel Embiid, guys who we know are going to be legacy players on these
It's
teams.
safe to buy their jersey.
And yeah, that's a good metric for it.
Mhm.
And
Jason Kelsey.
we've had success. Well,
He's
we just
not-
lost
he's
him,
not
but
there
this
Well, yeah,
season
But
of
he was there for a while.
this era of Philly sports
I
in
love
general.
Jason Kelsey.
He's not a part of this era, though.
I think.
He is a part of every era in my heart.
Okay. I think the best one in my
I'll fight
research
you.
that I could find, I don't think people want to Parker and Luke fight.
Luke's getting mad. Luke's getting mad.
He'll defend Jason Kelsey with his life.
I know he will. He likes Jason Kelsey more than he likes me.
That's not true. I love you, Parker.
Oh, thank you.
Aw.
The power of
True
friendship.
brotherly love.
Just like in Philly, where Jason Kelsey.
The best I could find in my research was the early 80s, like 80 to 83, because in 1980, the Flyers lost in the Stanley Cup, the Sixers lost in the NBA Finals, the Eagles lost in the Super Bowl, and then the Phillies won the World Series. So they had four. 3 out of the 4 lost. So it's very similar to 2022, where we had the Union lost, the Eagles lost, and the Phillies lost. But we didn't have a winner in 2022. So at least in 80 they had a winner.
We have to see how this era plays out.
Yeah, 83 the Sixers got one.
This year we're going to have 5 winners.
5 winners. And there's been 0 so far.
Yeah.
The Eagles, the Phillies.
We would turn into Boston at that point.
Sixers.
Boston and San Francisco are the 2 best.
Flyers and the Union.
Yeah.
They're all winning this year.
Boston and San Francisco.
The Wings? Is that
those 2 cities.
The Wings?
Yeah.
6. We're getting 6 this year.
Yeah,
that would be crazy.
Agree.
Philly is going to turn into the Boston and the San Francisco of the sporting world. Both of those cities are the 2 best, obviously, in the sporting world. That's what Philly's going to turn into. That would be sick. That would be sick.
Yeah, and then everyone would love us so much. Just kidding. So, yeah, I wanted to bring that up just to, make everyone appreciate the current Philly sports era we're in, because up next, we're drafting... We're drafting the worst Philadelphia sports moments of all time. So this is going to be a little rough.
Yeah.
Apologies. Like a PTSD warning. Yeah, throw up the...
Finger on the app game?
I think... Oh, yes, bring that up, too. Graphics, my mental image is... You guys ever seen the, I feel like I see it whenever a Philly moment worthy of something we might draft here happens. It's the 2 astronauts and the one's looking at Earth, and he's like, pain, it's always been pain, or something like that. And the other one has a gun pointed at him, and it's just Philly sports on the Earth.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. It's always been pain.
Yeah. So time to do chooser, and the person who it selects gets to pick their pick.
Yes, I'm first overall.
Oh, you have a top worst moment.
I'm going first overall.
All right. I'll go second.
Okay, I'll go
Not
first
confident
overall.
in that decision, but I will.
It's not gonna solve.
I will go second.
Oh, if I win this, I get to go.
Oh yes, I'll pick third.
Okay. Okay, so you guys both have lists pulled up. I'm not gonna look. But yeah, Parker, start us off. You seem pretty confident. What's the worst moment?
All right, I have a clear number 1. This is like a moment where you know where you are when you're watching this.
What if I didn't watch it?
Well, then you don't know where you are, and you probably didn't watch it. But Kawhi's shot...
Yeah, that's a good one.
Kawhi's shot, it hit the rim 7 times before trickling in. Heartbreak. Yeah. That was when Ben Simmons and Embiid were playing well together. That was their shot to make a run. Toronto ended up winning that game.
And the championship.
And then they ended up winning the championship. That was our shot. If Kawhi wouldn't have hit that, the Sixers could have made that run.
Yeah.
It was a weak East. They could have won the championship. But no, that shot went in, and just true heartbreak. I cried for probably 3 days after that.
Oh wow.
I'm not gonna lie. Not the entire day, but sporadically during the day.
Okay.
Very sad for me, especially being a huge basketball fan. For me, that's a clear number 1. There's so many good things, but I have to stick personal to start, and that's why I picked that.
Yeah. Okay. Number 2 overall. I will just say I'm not confident in this being the number 2 overall.
I'm not confident
Just
in any of
put
my
that
picks
out there.
to be. I don't even know what my picks are going to be going forward, so...
I think that this one is a good number 2 because it's sad on 2 levels. So the number 2 overall pick sad on 2 levels. The last out of the 2011 NLDS when Ryan Howard tore his Achilles. That is just so devastating because just seeing Ryan Howard fall to the ground having torn his Achilles, and then with hindsight we know that basically ruined his career. He was never the same after. And you also have the pain of that Phillies team in 2011 won 102 games and then
That team was
lost.
arguably better than the 08 team.
Probably the best Phillies team they've ever
Yeah.
had. They had the 4 aces, and they lost in the first round of the playoffs. It's in Philly, just like, Game 5 of the NLDS in Philly, a heartbreaking 1-0 loss. A terrible way to
That
lose
sucks.
in a winner-take-all
That
game
sucks.
at home with a 100-win team, and then your amazing young star, who he was still relatively young, tears his Achilles on the last out, and it's just, heartbreaking on so many levels. I really talked myself into. I feel much more confident about that one.
Yeah, that is sad.
After saying
you
that.
really sold it. You did do a
Thank
good
you.
job
Yeah.
selling that.
Unconfidently, I think I'm gonna go with something a little more recent in history. Just the 2022 Bradbury holding call leading to the loss
That's a
of
good
a
one.
very, very winnable Super Bowl against the Chiefs.
Mhm.
That if they didn't make that call, there's a solid chance we win that game.
Mhm. The way Hurts was playing.
The way Hurts was playing, the way everybody was playing, the way that season went, the fact that Jason Kelsey could have gotten another ring right there,
He probably would have retired if they won that.
probably,
Yeah.
And then his last game would have been that instead of the Bucks game. Anyway,
yeah.
you got back to back.
I do have
How many picks are we
back-to-backs.
taking?
Oh man.
4.
Okay. all right.
I'll just stick in recent history because I'm really bad at thinking in the past. I'm just gonna go straight up with the Phillies getting no hit in the World Series against the Astros.
Okay, I was wondering which. I think there's 3 moments in that World Series that are pretty awful. So I wondered which one you were going to go
I'm
with.
just gonna go with the Phillies getting no hit. I
Okay.
mean, I feel like that is the very moment right there where I knew we were not gonna win that World Series. The fact that we got no hit in a World Series game, and it just right there was like, we're probably not gonna win this series.
Mhm.
That is pretty sad. That's definitely sad.
Yeah. Dang. Okay, I have a couple that I'm like going between here. Yeah. Okay. This might be early to take this one. Oh, hello, Dewey. Or, no, Dewey.
Dewey's my-
Hey, Oakley.
What's up, Oakley?
Oakley, come here. You want to be a special guest?
Come on, Oakley.
Oh,
Come on.
We have a little special
Hey,
guest
Oakley,
for
come
you
here.
guys.
Come here.
This is Oakley.
Oakley, come on.
There you go. Fourth guest on the podcast. Fourth member.
Oakley, what do you
he
think
almost
about
got me
the
that time.
era of Philly sports right now?
I don't know. He's silent. Oh.
Okay. There's 2 I would like to. I've narrowed it down to 2. I've narrowed it down to 2 in my head. Which one to go with? I'm worried about Parker taking.
I will take
one of
the other
them. Okay.
If it's baseball, I'm taking it.
Okay.
That's what he did to me.
I'll go with Eagles, Saints. Nick Foles replaces Carson Wentz, is in the middle of leading the team towards a game-winning drive, throws a pass to Alshon Jeffrey, goes right through his hands, it's
Yep.
picked off, and the season's over. There was so much momentum, and it was like Nick Foles is amazing, and then just right through Jeffrey's hands, and it was over just so fast.
Yeah, that's sad. That's a really good one. That is a great one, actually. I'm actually gonna go football. I'm gonna go the football route. Let's take us back in time. I mean, obviously, the Eagles have had some pretty heartbreaking losses to the Bucks.
I think the Eagles are the highest rated.
They've had a ton of heartbreaking losses,
Yeah.
especially to Tampa Bay. Back in 2002,
Good one.
they lost in a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Rondé Barber.
Yeah, Rondé Barber.
Pick 6.
That guy was a dog.
Yeah.
But let's not talk about him. 92-yard pick 6. Put the game out of reach.
That was a devastating moment. Yeah.
That was the NFC Championship game.
Uh-huh.
And the Eagles were good that year.
Mhm.
Like, they could have won.
And that was right in the middle. That's also heartbreaking because it was right in the middle of like another NFC Championship loss.
Yeah.
They were in their streak.
Yeah, it wasn't just like, oh, this is, we made it to the NFC Championship, let's go. There was high expectations that year. And they started out the game with a kick return. They literally went 70 yards, got a kick return. But it was all downhill from there, and then they opened 92-yard pick six.
Yeah.
I've watched that play just in like YouTube clips and stuff. It seems awful, like really bad. So obviously it was before we were alive, but still really sucks.
Yeah.
And then I actually don't know a whole lot of baseball, so I'm not going to go baseball.
Oh, he tricked me.
I was trying to trick you. But I have to go with another, like, I got to go with a recent heart stopper for me.
Okay.
Like a personal heartthrob, basically, you could say, in the Philadelphia sports world. Game 7. Game 7, Sixers versus the Hawks. They're winning that game. They're winning the closeout
Dang
game
it, Parker.
of the series.
Dang it.
But what happens?
Dang it.
Ben Simmons lays a dud, a goose egg, and more specifically, passes on a wide open dunk. Could have easily dunked the ball. Is just timid the entire game.
Trae Young coming over to guard him under the basket, I believe.
And he doesn't do anything. He literally just gives up in that game, and he gave up from the very opening tip-off. And the rest,
such a good pick.
The rest played out just awful. And I can't stand watching that game. I can't stand Ben Simmons now. Absolute heartbreaker for me, and I just can't believe it, because that was a game 7 closeout game where you need to be at your best, and he came out and did nothing. That was when we knew Ben Simmons was fake.
And was that a blown 3-1 lead against the Hawks?
Yes.
Yeah.
They were up 3-1,
Yeah.
and that was game 7. They had already lost the previous 2, partially because of Ben Simmons, and then he continued the narrative all the way to a loss in the postseason.
That's such a good pick. I was hoping I could grab that one later, but yeah. And if you guys really enjoy seeing our pain, we have that moment documented. We live streamed that game right here in this room on that TV.
Yeah.
We felt that immense pain. That was a really good pick.
Yeah, that was. I mean, we were in that one together. Even
Yeah.
Luke.
Yeah.
Even Luke knows about that one.
Yeah. Okay, I will actually go baseball.
Okay.
Again, 2 out of my top 3 baseball, but the Phillies also have a lot of heartbreaking moments. I know I said the Eagles are up there, but I mean the Phillies, they've been around since 1883, and they've won 2 World Series, and they've won the pennant 10 times. So there's a lot of bad years in there.
Right.
And I think this is a steal with my 3rd overall pick, I think this is a steal with my 3rd pick. 1993 Joe Carter walk-off home run on Mitch Williams. To lose the World Series on a walk-off, to win a World Series on a walk-off home run, greatest thing you can imagine. To lose it, one of the worst ways to lose. It was game 6, not game 7, so it was like not quite as bad because you still had to win that game and then earn a game 7. But still, like, you're in the game right up until the end. You're trying to force a game 7, and then you have to see the other team celebrate a walk-off home run to beat you in the World Series. That's just so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say
That is that's awful.
My 3rd pick, going back to the Birds, because a lot of heartbreaks there. I'm going to go with the 2005 Super Bowl loss to the Patriots.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's never fun to lose in the Super Bowl, let alone to Tom Brady himself.
One of those early 2000s moments.
Yeah. But, I mean, this one hits a little close to home. Mere days after I was born, this Super Bowl was played. I was maybe a week or 2 old when this was played. I always hear the story about how my dad was scared he was going to have to watch it in the hospital because my mom was in labor during the Eagles Super Bowl. But, yeah, I mean, the way they almost came back at the end of that game, the interception at the very end, and they just couldn't make it happen with the little time they had left. And that one is definitely a tough one. Not that, I mean, technically I was alive during it, but Not that I remember watching it in
memory.
person, but obviously any championship loss as a Philadelphia sports fan is hard to cope with.
Mm-hmm.
Then with the wraparound and my fourth and final pick, maybe a controversial pick, but one that hits very close to home, is the retirement of the man, the myth, the legend himself, Jason.
No way. That's
Wow.
not sad though. He retired in a good way.
That was bittersweet.
But
yeah. That's not disappointing though.
if he played for the rest of his life, I would have given anything to watch him play for the rest
The
of his life.
the glazing on Jason Kelsey is crazy.
I love Jason Kelsey.
You're glazing him though.
I don't care if that takes up my
I
fourth
think-
spot. I'll let it take up my first,
Wow.
second, and third too.
What?
No, I'm joking.
So Luke's entire draft is just photo of Jason Kelsey.
Jason Kelsey retirement press conference.
That thing
Oh,
had me
man.
in tears. That press
Yeah.
conference had me
Yeah.
in tears, man.
But he's talking about how
it's
great
happy sad.
his time.
It's happy sad. He had a great
bittersweet,
career,
yeah.
but like
Yeah.
So
it's not just heartbreaking.
it is to me.
I guess that's.
That's why I said I don't care what.
hey,
anybody
it's a
else
draft
says.
pick. It's like it's a little bit better than
We know
Jarvis
who's
Landry.
not getting last now.
It's a little bit better than Jarvis
I will take
Landry.
last place for Jason Kelsey every day.
Oh my goodness! All right, my last pick, the Philadelphia Union losing to LAFC 2022 kicked off the Philadelphia 2022 losing in
streak,
championship
yeah.
streak. Not quite as impactful if you're not a soccer fan, which I'm not even like a hardcore Philadelphia Union fan. I follow them loosely, but I remember I knew the championship was that day. I was checking the score like every 15 minutes. I couldn't watch it, but and they were up, and there were like 88 minutes into the game, and it's like they're gonna do it. And then I didn't check for a little while because I just thought they were gonna win, and I checked back in, and they gave up a goal in like the 90th minute, and then they ended up losing, and just such an awful way to lose
That
a
is
championship. And so
That's awful. I feel like you guys got most of the sports covered, Eagles and, the Phillies. I'm going to stick to what I know best with my last pick.
Yeah, I wanted a Sixers, and
I'm going to stick to basketball. I'm just going to grab all the 76ers because for me personally, it's the most heartbreak because I'm the most invested. So the more invested you are, the more heartbroken you feel. And so...
I thought the first two you took were the clear top two, so I'm really interested.
Yeah, well, we're going to pull an old one out here.
Okay.
This is before I was alive, so obviously I didn't know this when it happened. But the 1981 Eastern Conference Finals against, guess who? The Celtics. Obviously,
Oh my
the Celtics are awful. They've been awful even, 25 years before I was born.
Shoot, I want to redraft my fourth pick.
Well,
You
Too
can do
late.
an honorable
don't tell
mention.
Jason Kelsey that.
Yeah. But guess what? They're up 3-1 in the series. They're up 3-1 in 1981. Or in it was the 1981 season, 1982.
So your last two picks, you're taking the Sixers blowing 3-1.
Yes, but
Oh,
this
my
one,
goodness.
Game 5 lost by 2 points. Game 6 lost by 2 points. Game 7 lost by 1 point. Lose the series to the Celtics. Guess who the Celtics played in the finals? Okay? It's not just like, oh yeah, this was just the conference finals. Like, it doesn't make a big deal. They played the sub-500 Houston Rockets in the finals and destroyed them. Because of course they destroyed them. They were a sub-500 team.
So it was basically a finals
It was
loss.
basically a finals loss, and you lose the final 3 games by a combined 5 points.
That's insane.
That's awful.
Wow.
That is awful to the Celtics.
Yeah.
Makes me mad. It
I
makes
did
me
not
so
know
mad.
about that. That's a good one. That was good, like a good history lesson. I didn't
Yeah.
know about that. Huh. Okay. So that's the draft. Could you recount your team for us?
Yeah, so I had 3 Sixers moments. Obviously, the 1981 conference finals, the dreaded Kawhi shot in the conference finals back in 2019 over Joel Embiid on the baseline where he hit the shot. Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
And then the Hawks series where the Sixers are up 3-1. Ben Simmons passes up a wide open dunk and just collapses in Game 7. And then my Rondé Barber 92-yard pick 6 in the 2002 NFC Championship game. Eagles end up losing to the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Okay. I had Ryan Howard tears his Achilles as the Phillies lose the 2011 NLDS. Alshon Jeffrey has the pass from Nick Foles go through his hands. Eagles lose to the Saints. Joe Carter walk-off home run against the Phillies in 93. And then the Union lose to LAFC in the championship in 2022.
Yep. I have the Eagles losing the Super Bowl to the Chiefs in 22 with the Bradbury hold. Eagles losing the Super Bowl in 05, not capitalizing on the interception at the end of the game. Phillies getting no hit in, what was it, Game 3 of the World Series?
3 or 4.
Game 3 or 4 of the 2022 World Series. And the retirement of the man, the myth, the legend himself, Jason Kelce.
Wow. Real quick, any honorable mentions?
I do have one.
We spent a long time on it last time.
I do have one honorable mention that I don't know if it deserves to be drafted or if it deserves to stay in the honorable mentions. It comes from the Eagles' 2017 Super Bowl winning season. The tearing of the ACL of Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Agreed. I considered that one for 4.
I think that,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we still won the Super Bowl, so that's great, but, I mean, Carson Wentz was going to be the clear MVP that season. It was an MVP season, and nobody was even close to competing with that.
Yeah.
And we were just looking at, I mean, a dynasty in Carson Wentz. Obviously, after that season, he was pretty much never the same. I mean, he was still pretty decent, and then he got the concussion. It was just all out the window from there. But, like, just thinking about what if he did never get hurt? What if he never got hurt? Is he still that MVP for years to come? Are we a dynasty?
Josh Allen?
Exactly. Are we a dynasty for that time period? Or was it just a one-hit wonder kind of season for him? We'll never know because he tore his ACL.
Yeah. That was a good one. That one I had up there. The Sixers 2023 against the Celtics.
Yep.
Game 7, where it looked like they were maybe going to pull off this comeback from down 3-2. James Harden and Joel Embiid both were atrocious. Jason Tatum absolutely lit us up.
Did he drop 50?
For 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just 3 after 3 from Jason Tatum raining down was awful. And then the Phillies 2022 World Series, I also strongly considered the Yordan Alvarez nail in the coffin home run to win the Astros the World Series. And what I think is worse than that one, the Chas McCormick catch at the wall off of JT's bat that hit
especially from a guy who literally went to a college 10 minutes from here.
Yeah. I grew up a Phillies fan right here.
That one hurt a lot, yeah.
That would be double, maybe triple from JT. Could have
also
won the game for the Phillies.
Just the entirety of the 2023 NLCS series.
Yeah.
The
that one's too broad, but
it's too broad, but we lost to the underdog, no-name Diamondbacks.
2 games
out
at
of
home.
Nowhere. Our guys just, nobody hit. It was just so brutal to watch.
Yeah. We miss any?
There's nothing that I could think of to add, so you guys covered it.
It was a very depressing draft.
Yeah, that was depressing. We should talk about something fun and exciting.
Yeah. Hard pivot. Hope you non-Philly fans enjoyed our pain there. Fantasy football.
Yes!
It's about to be back.
It is about to be back.
And who doesn't love fantasy football?
Who doesn't
it's
love
so
fantasy
fun.
football?
I love fantasy football.
Did we let them know who won last year?
I love fantasy football when I don't have 15
covered,
or 20 teams to manage.
I think we covered who won last year.
I
don't think we need
to
to rehash it.
Yeah, I do remember. We don't have to rehash it, but I did win, by the way. I'm just kidding. I had to throw that in.
At least we didn't have you give a speech like the first time you won on the podcast.
Yeah.
Highly recommend going back and watching that. It's
video.
iconic.
That is iconic. Oh, man.
Yeah, Parker became the first 2-time champion, I believe, of the Low Expectations League. So, all right, done with that. It's a new season. We don't have to talk specifically about our teams because I don't know how much people enjoy that. Just hearing about someone's fantasy team. So I just kind of want to talk about our mentalities with fantasy football now, how. Like Luke just said, our relationship with fantasy football has definitely changed.
Matured.
You're a working professional. you're in college. I'm just graduated college. Like, you're not managing 15 teams anymore. Yeah. So, like, for me, this is the least I've prepared for fantasy football. I'm preparing a little bit. I'm more cramming this year. Previous years, I prepared way more in advance.
Preparing this much.
So,
This
zero.
I'm not looking at anything until I go into the draft. The only things I'll see is just like if I'm scrolling on Instagram and I see like ESPN ranks their top whatever in fantasy. Yeah, maybe I'll look at it for 30 seconds if that.
You're not like intentionally.
No, there's no
like,
preparation.
okay.
It is, to me, it's fun. I enjoy fantasy football, but I'm past the point in my life where I think I need to go all into. Like years past, sure, I'm like. Head into the books, trying to figure out who I'm going to draft, what I'm going to do. But now it's just like I've got more important things to worry about, and it's a fun thing and a fun way to stay in touch with my friends. But I've had so much disappointment in fantasy football that it really can't get worse.
Yeah. Does that include the 8 straight losses to me over the course of 4 years?
Is that real?
It is real. It
Yeah.
is very
Oh my word! I didn't know that.
Yep.
Jeez.
I mean, that is definitely part of it. I didn't know it was 8,
Man.
but now I do.
Nail and hammer rivalry.
I'm just messing with you, Luke. No, so my
I think it stems off of losing the championship in my first year by a tie, and then not even getting close
Hereditary.
ever since.
Yep.
I think that's where it stems from. It's
I
just
really
like
started
that-
on the wrong foot.
Yeah, it's all been downhill from there.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I
that's
still
true.
can't believe that actual result. Like that's like
the
a
odds
movie.
of that over 2 weeks
Over
to
2
still
weeks
tie.
to
We've talked about it before.
Yeah, off a
It's
tiebreaker.
insane.
Crazy. Down to
Yeah.
the what? Down to the placement point, right? It wasn't just one whole number. It was
No,
also
it was
point.
Yeah, because we had
96 or
decimal.
something.
We had decimal scoring.
It was literally down to the exact decimal. Like what the heck?
the odds of that
Over
are
2 weeks, that's
insane.
crazy in the championship game.
Yeah.
And it was like a last-second field goal that tied it.
Yeah.
Exactly tied it, like perfectly. Like that is just wild.
Mm-hmm.
But no, right now my relationship with fantasy football, once you get into some bigger money leagues, you start maybe having to pay attention again. Like there's one league that I'm in that like it's like $400, $500 for like the first place person. So it's not like crazy money or anything.
made me depressed.
I was gonna ask what
I'm sorry, Luke. I should not have brought that up.
you'll break it this year, Luke. You'll get him this year.
This is the streak. This
Yeah.
is the end of the streak.
Luke this year, number 1 overall pick in the fantasy draft.
I do?
Yeah. Do you want to trade it to me?
So
No.
what? Number 1 for number 12.
Well, no, I
First for
give him
last.
equity. I'll give you picks 2, 3, 4.
This is okay. No, we don't.
We don't
You
trade
can
draft
discuss
picks
this
in
off the
fantasy.
pod.
Okay, all
You
right.
said your relationship
So like
before
basically,
Luke
it
interrupted
depends
you
on-
with his depression.
It depends on the league because if it's a bigger money league, I pay more attention to it.
That
So
makes sense.
I'm in one
That's fair.
big money dynasty league that I pay a lot of attention to, and I pay more attention right now to dynasty because that's where the biggest money league is at, and I need to like. I don't want to just give up my money for no reason, you know. I wouldn't want to be in the league at that moment. So it's like, do I not want to be in the league, or do I want to actually put some time into it? I've decided to put time into it. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
I relate with that. I'm in a dynasty league as well, and it's not. I don't think there's a money stake in it, but it's also just. I don't know. If you have a few bad weeks in fantasy, it's really hard to come back from that. If your team falls apart, it's hard to come back from that. But once the year's over, everything resets and it's all fine. With dynasty, like you're trading draft picks, you're trading players, you're building a young team, you're picking up off of waivers a lot more frequently.
There's a lot more trades that
And so
happen.
it's like you think, okay,
Yeah.
maybe I'm not doing great this season, but how am I setting myself up to be better next season? And so you're thinking years in advance rather than just, all right, what do I need to do? Like, Dynasty is very proactive. How are you setting yourself up to be good in the future? Fantasy is very reactive. How are you reacting to what's going on in your team at that very moment to make it better the very next week? And I feel like I'm a lot better at proactive thinking than reactive thinking.
Yeah, no, I think it is a very like, because you can make trades more easily, because there's people that are in different situations and they view things differently. Like in a normal like league, a standard league, everybody's just trying to win the championship that year, and if they don't, it just resets.
Yeah.
Sometimes like there's different situations, just like in a normal teams, right? Like some team might be really good right now, so they're in a win now mode. So they'll trade for an older guy who's performing really well right now, but it's not going to have like 3 years. He's only going to have 1 or 2 years left. And they'll trade away like a younger guy that's not quite as good right now, but might be good over the course of like 5 to 10 years. It's more balanced because if you're rebuilding, you want the young guy and you want to trade away your older guys. So there's more possibilities for trades. There's also like you can trade draft picks out like 10 years in advance and stuff. I've only ever made one trade though in Dynasty. I just drafted really young last year, and so hopefully my team can be a little bit better this year because it's only year 2. But it was the trade that you guys helped me on with James Cook. So I traded away my first round pick this year for James Cook because it's so hard to get like solid running backs.
Yeah.
I would have had the 5th overall pick.
Okay.
So I traded away number 5 overall, which would have been like, I don't know, it wouldn't have been one of the top 3 like Malik Neighbors or Marvin Harrison or I don't know any really guys. It wouldn't have been one of those guys. It wouldn't have been him.
None of those. I think those are clear.
Yeah, if it would have been top 3, I would have preferred that
Yeah.
pick. But I think, James Cook's still really young. He just signed like a 5-year deal.
Yeah.
So, or 4-year deal. But, I'm in one standard league. And so, like, you're talking about the relationship to fantasy football. I'm in one standard league, one dynasty league this year, and then one pick'ems league.
Oh, balanced.
Yeah. So, it's more balanced. Like, I'm not spending quite as much time on it. I was joking. I actually don't. I did one mock draft for Dynasty. I don't.
Dynasty did 20.
I haven't been been going crazy. I do know guys I'm not going to draft though. I always know that.
Can you give us one?
No, because then you're not going to draft it.
Okay.
I do know.
Who knows? I'm going to agree with you. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you guys might not agree with me.
Yeah. Also, Luke's at the opposite end of the board as you. I'm at 5. So.
Oh, I was talking about like 3rd, 4th, 5th round guys. Like those are the really hit or miss picks.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the ones
you have to hit on your first 2, and then
yeah.
If you don't hit on those, you're screwed. And then the next guy is like really determine a championship team or not.
Let's just say I'm worried about older guys right now. I'm worried about older guys in general.
Take that as you will.
In general, I'm worried.
Drafting Tom Brady this year.
And Jason Kelsey.
No,
Jason Kelsey.
What if Luke drafts Jason Kelsey as a legacy 101 pick? Luke, that would show your true support to Jason Kelsey.
I think he'll just draft Travis Kelsey as like paying homage to like drafting a Kelsey. Yeah, I think that we should start a dynasty league. I don't know why we haven't.
We should start a dynasty league.
We should do that.
We totally should.
It can't just be us 3. That would be stacked teams.
Well, we need to find like a solid crew of like people though.
Small
because
dynasty league would be
when you do a dynasty league, you really need to find people who are going to go all in with it because obviously it's not entirely year round, but it's a little more year round than fantasy.
Definitely more involved.
You are like you look right before the season, you draft your team, you look during the season for trades. Once the season's over, you don't give it a second thought.
Yeah.
Like with Dynasty, I'm being offered trades year round, and so it's like.
And it's like this is like your
you
team.
Can churn.
Like you.
There can be churn in the league, but it can't be more than like 3 or 4 really.
Yeah.
Like in our league, there was 2 people that churned, and the one guy inherited such a bad team. I feel so bad for him.
Yeah.
Like what Luke had to do a couple years ago, like. Oh my goodness, his team is awful.
Speaking of bad teams, one more thing about fantasy football that we're considering doing this year. I think we should do.
This will be fun.
The anti-fantasy league.
We should do that just for fun.
I think we saw it on social media last year.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people are doing it this year, but I'm really excited for it. Where you want your fantasy team to do bad, so you're trying you get points for like interceptions, fumbles, like things that normally you'd be like, oh no. That's good for your team. We'll have to discuss off the pod. We don't have to go into details, but if anyone has ideas, please comment. How do you figure out the stipulations of an anti-fantasy league? Because technically you could just draft a bunch of injured and bench guys and just get 0 because they don't do anything. We should have some sort of rules of you have to draft actual guys who are gonna play, but still have the strategy of trying to draft bad guys. And it'd be funny if you're with the last pick, I have to take Tyreek Hill. I'm going to bench him. Something like that. we'd have to figure out some like baseline of like you have to still draft like players who are gonna be involved.
We should look at the top.
So
we should look at how many people are in the league. We look at how many draft spots we have, and then the ADPs of the top, and we like include.
And be like,
you have to take
draft
top
below this
include-
ADP.
you have to take top 200 or top 150.
Right, and we
okay,
include
I like that.
include like enough QBs and tight ends and stuff.
I like that.
Like we include them. That's what we should do. So you can't just draft like a bunch of like bad guys. Now, if there's a guy that's not performing on the waiver, like is playing but not performing, you can pick him up probably.
Yeah.
But it can't be someone who's not playing at all. Like they have to be playing.
Yeah,
and
they have
not
to have
performing.
snaps. Yeah.
And there should be enough incentivization of like when somebody does something really bad, like it should get you a lot of points.
Yeah, it should.
Because you should be incentivized to like be trying to get guys who are playing but playing bad versus guys who aren't involved at all.
So like if you
we can control the scoring.
You can set it to be like -6 points.
Well, no,
we would want to be positive.
Okay,
we would do any
You'd be like, yes, I got 20 points because Daniel Jones just threw another pick.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're playing pop. You still want the most points.
Yes. It's just the way you get them is
different.
backwards.
Yeah.
Bro, me and Luke have to fight again.
What?
We have to fight again. We're over the guy who cooks in the kitchen.
I want Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield's mine.
I want
He's
him.
mine.
I want him.
That would be hilarious. You're fighting over Baker Mayfield for the #1 pick. Oh man, so yeah.
How the turntable.
We'll keep you guys updated on that. I think that'll be a really fun one to tell people about week to week.
We gotta like make Owen draft him somehow, and then
like make me draft him. I don't like the look Luke just gave me. So yeah, we'll keep you guys updated on that. I think that one's going to be really fun. After the podcast, we're going to figure out all our fantasy football stuff because speaking of our relationship with it, we have procrastinated and we're behind on it this year, so we got to figure all that out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Just to wrap up this episode, Phillies update. You got any more buzzes on the score?
I have not. I believe it's still 2-0.
I think they've turned a corner. Kyle Schwarber hit a grand slam. And I think everyone agrees that may have saved the Phillies season.
Yeah.
So
2-0 in the bottom of the 5th.
Okay, cool. We're good with that.
Eagles are 2-0.
We're good with that. Yeah, the Eagles have won both of their preseason games. They've both been super low scoring and finished in like dramatic fashion at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk more about the Eagles next episode because that'll be like our football is back episode. So stay tuned.
But this is also the last in-person episode for me this summer.
Yes. Yeah. Do you have? I don't know. Do you want to have a final? What? Well, we're still gonna know you, but
Don't leave. Don't leave.
yeah, it is.
My final farewell.
Well, you'll be back.
Yeah.
We'll still do episodes with you. You'll just be virtual, and then you'll be back. But yeah, this is our first summer back together since 22, and I don't know, I didn't really prepare anything to say, but it was good.
We'll come up and visit.
Yep.
Grove City up.
Yeah. Grove City
That's
up.
another thing we got to figure that out too. When we're
where,
together.
why,
So,
how.
Who?
yeah. I have one weekend anyway. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. This is all Philly, all the time. Comment who you think won the draft, what ideas you have for other drafts for us to do. How you're feeling about an anti-fantasy league. If you guys want updates on that throughout the year, if you're interested for us to come on here and be like, dude, my team killed it this week, 2 fumbles, my defense gave up 40 points to the team they were playing, and I won. So I think that would be fun, but let us know. So
Baker Mayfield threw 2 pick sixes.
Yeah, who's the #1 overall pick? We'll let you know about that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Channel's been doing great recently on YouTube. A lot of momentum. So
That's good.
Share this with a friend. Thanks for doing that.
Do it
or else.
Do it in remembrance of me.
Oh yeah, I was gonna threaten them, but that's better.
This is, yeah. Do it for Luke.
Yeah, we should let Luke sign off.
Yeah, you gotta sign off, Luke.
Goodbye.
He just like set up for that. Oh, it's funny.